Welcome to ACTV Newsmakers. On location today at Indian Trail Junior High School. On May 14th, the Addison Police Department and the St. Charles Police Department took to the basketball court here at Indian Trail for a friendly game of basketball to benefit the Concerns of Police Survivors organization. Coming up, we'll learn about this organization and the good work that they do to benefit the law enforcement community with Kurt Hebels, and we'll also speak with Addison Police Department Commander Omar Brukal about this first ever charity police basketball game taking place right here in Addison. We're speaking today with Kurt Hebels, who is the treasurer of the Illinois Cops Cycle Across Illinois organization. And Kurt, it is your organization who is benefiting from today's event, correct?
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the organization, Illinois Cops and Cycle Across Illinois?
Sure. Well, Illinois Cops National Organization was started in 1984. The chapter for Illinois began in 2005 with a colleague of mine, Mark Hannon, from the Wheaton Police Department. The first year we had 12 riders and 2 support vehicles, and we raised approximately $1,100. This year is our 20th year riding across Illinois. Last year we had 96 riders and about 30 support, and we raised about $250,000.
What is the mission of the organization? Who ultimately benefits from some of that charitable work?
Sure. The people that benefit are the surviving coworkers, spouses, family members, loved ones of the fallen officers. The money that we raise provides programs for them to attend to deal with their grief.
In the last number of years since the organization's been established, have you reached out to local police departments to conduct charity events such as we're seeing today?
We reach out to businesses, police departments. Incidentally, when Mark Hannon started the chapter, he reached out to Joliet PD. They were the ones that helped us get this off the ground in 2005.
Can you talk about the work that you do and you raise money for the co-workers of officers and so on? What are some of the things that they need? Where does the need lie with them, and that you hope your organization is able to come to the benefit of?
Sure. Well, I think the biggest thing is the grief. Sometimes it's survivor's guilt, and Cops as an organization helps with their programs to help these co-workers deal with that, or family members deal with the grief and the loss, parents, siblings, things like that.
Does that ever take the form of bringing in crisis counseling or professional therapy? How do you go about addressing things like that?
So we provide retreats and kids camps, and we train our cops team members to learn how to help people deal with the grief. And most of our people that are at the camps and retreats are survivors themselves.
I see. Okay. Has that changed over the last several years, where the needs of the survivors? You mentioned coworkers, very important. All the people behind you today have partners that they go out on patrol with and so on. They've come up through the ranks with, in other words. Is that being addressed now? Maybe in previous years it really hadn't been addressed as much?
Well, the need has always been there. I think that we're just getting better at addressing that need. And the money and the awareness that we raise through the bike ride and through organizations and events like this has really helped us enhance and do better with what we've already been doing.
Is this the first time that you've worked with the Addison Police Department in an event such as this for
That's
fundraising?
Correct. Yes, first time.
Interesting. Very good.
I was very, very happy when I got the call to find out that they were going to be donating to our cause, because really it's a cause for all the police officers that are here helping make this happen. I come from a family of police officers, and so for me and my father and brother, we look at it as a way of paying it forward.
Yes, yeah. So you were a police officer yourself?
Retired from Wheaton 5 years ago, yes.
Okay, very good. Okay. Were you officer, detective, or what
police
was your
officer,
rank?
yes.
Okay. And when you were working in the Wheaton Police Department, did you come across situations like the kind that you're addressing through your organization?
Not personally on the job, but our organization was started at the encouragement of a Lieutenant Gary Dudley from the Indiana State Police. And he told my friend Mark, if you start this chapter, this ride, I will do it with you the next year. So Gary Dudley rode with us in 2006, right before his ride, and Indiana goes around the perimeter of their state. They do about 1,100 miles in 7 days. And unfortunately, I think on the fourth day of the ride, Gary Dudley and Gary Martin were killed because a truck hit their riders. And so, that's sort of a co-worker, if you will, of mine. Oh, yeah. So I'm affected like that.
So these are bike rides?
I do. This is my 20th year doing the bike ride.
Okay, what's the longest that you've personally done in relation to the...
Well, last year was the roughest. It ended up being about 355 miles, but we had 2 days that were over 100 miles each coming out of Galesburg, and it was the most hills we had. Yeah. But I believe maybe about 15 years ago, we did just over 400 miles. So, well, we do it together. It's not a race. We do it together, and we help each other through it.
And then you receive contributions, donations on behalf of your rides. Then.
Yes,
is that correct?
Yes, and the riders are required this year to raise $1,000.
Oh, wow. It sounds like the camaraderie, the fellowship that we know of for the officers on the job, it continues on, really. It probably years later. You're a good example of that.
Correct.
And I guess you got to be in the job to really know what that feels like, right?
It is a little different feeling when you're in the job. And the other thing is, this bike ride is such an emotional and physical journey. I mean, people on the ride are survivors of family members, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, co-workers, and it's just amazing. I can't even put into words what the experience is like.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have paid that forward through the organization, the COPS organization, and the Cycle Across Illinois. And we're happy to have you here in Addison to have some fun with our Addison Police Department taking on St. Charles. And that should be a good matchup, but all in the name and the interest of the law enforcement community. Yes. And the survivorship of those who have fallen.
Yes.
Kurt, thank you very much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We're speaking now with Omar Brakal, commander with the Addison Police Department. Omar, we just talked with Kurt Keebles from the Illinois Cops organization, Ride for Cops organization. How did you find this organization?
Sure.
How did you guys kind of get together for this event today?
Yes, so I had never met anybody from the COPS organization, but I've always seen their website, especially during National Police Week every year. I know that they're an organization that is a not-for-profit, and I know that they raise money for families that have unfortunately lost a loved one in the line of police work. So I just figured, number one, since I remember them, and number two, it's such a great cause that I believe in, that let's help raise money for them so they can help families that have lost somebody.
Yeah, Kurt talked about how they pay it forward with their charitable work for those who are survivors of fallen officers, and even coworkers.
Yes.
And is that something that you learned in doing your research about them? And what did that mean to you when you heard something like that?
Yeah, so their website, if you go to their website, one of the things it says is that they know that it is not only a tough time for families, but tough times for their police departments. So they actually walk the police department through the process of helping out with funeral arrangements, helping out with counseling services, things like that. Now we have a police department, the Addison Police Department too. We have protocols set in place where we are all set with that, but it is a welcome thing to have assistance from an organization like COPS.
To have someone from the outside coming in, people from departments like St. Charles, Wheaton, wherever, who maybe have had a kind of a team of their own already established to come in, because the grief within the department is so intense.
It is.
You can't even begin to put everything together. I would imagine. Right.
So fortunately, in my 24-year career, we have not had a situation where we lost anybody in the line of duty, and I hope to have never experienced that. However, I can only imagine with the calls that we go to and some of the tough situations that we've been in, it has to be one of the most horrific things that a police officer can go through.
How challenging was it to round up your team today? And can you talk a little bit about the guys in blue?
Yes.
I see a lot of Addison Trail High School uniforms.
Yeah, so I'll back up by telling you that during one meeting, probably about a month ago, the chief had asked, hey, are we doing anything for Police Memorial? And we normally do a formal event that takes a lot of manpower, stuff like that. So I figured he was talking about next year. And then it dawned on me, no, he's talking about this year. So, Chief, if you're listening to this,
Right.
This is the truth.
He may be, yeah.
So I decided, what's the fastest way to get at least 2 departments together and bring the community out? And I just figured, hey, who loves a game of basketball?
Right.
So I called one of my contacts that I know, Officer Daniel Godino from the St. Charles Police Department. We play softball together, and he said, "Yeah, let's put it together." So just spread the word, and I mean, this is what takes place. So again, the Addison community just proves how awesome they are.
I see a lot of village officials here and village
Yes.
employees. Is this going to be a friendly rivalry? Will there be a rematch at some point in the future, no matter who the victor is?
I don't know about rivalry, but Daniel and I, we have talked about if this were to continue, maybe next year it'll be at the St. Charles Police Department or somewhere out there, and then, back and forth.
Why not? Why
Yes.
not? Yeah. The message then for the community to hear about this event today and what this means for the overall mission of the police department. How
Sure.
does this fit into all of the goals of
Yes.
outreach, community policing, the law enforcement community here locally in Addison? How would you characterize how this event fits in with that?
Sure. So we have a strong community base that we always strive to connect with. We've always had it through our DARE program, through our crime prevention community. This is just another step towards that direction here. We could have one of those situations where we mourn the deaths of those that pass away, and we absolutely will continue doing that. However, we should also honor those by having a celebration of their life through a friendly game of basketball and having the community come out here and just seeing smiles on their faces. That's the best way to honor the lives that we've lost.
Right, and I think the message, what a resident of Addison wants to hear is that it goes beyond that call of 911. There's so much more involved in the law enforcement community.
Yes.
You, all of the men and women in this police department, I'm sure it goes into the fire department. I mean, all public agencies deal with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right.
Absolutely.
Omar, thank you very much for talking with us today, and good luck, and
Thank you.
let's cheer on Blue. Go
Thank you very
Addison.
much. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, Omar. From Indian Trail Junior High School, I'm Don Weiss. Thank you for joining us on ACTV Newsmakers.